In this presentation, we're going to be talking about a fall arrest system. We're going to be talking about the proper use, inspections, the components, and the emergency action or rescue plan that will be used. OSHA requires that anytime somebody is working 4 feet or more above the ground, that they have a fall restraint or a fall arrest system. Now, a quick explanation of the two. A fall restraint system is something that will keep you from falling in the first place. It can be a wall, it can be rails, it can be a lifeline that keeps you from ever reaching the edge of the roof of a high object. The fall arrest system, which we're going to be talking about today, is something that happens in the event of an accident. It comes into play after somebody has already fallen or after an accident has happened. So we want to remind you that these are for emergency use only. We want to make sure that that they're not, it's not used in horseplay or for fun. We had a couple instances over the last several years to where somebody decided to have a little fun with the system, and so they jump off the side of a trailer. Another case where there was horseplay and somebody decides to have a little fun and pushes a guy off the side of the trailer, knowing that he has the fall arrest system and supposedly that he's not going to get hurt. Of course, horseplay is never acceptable. But in any case, once the system becomes subject to impact loading, well, it's very expensive because several of the components have to be taken out of use. So remember, these are only for emergency use only, and they should only come into play after an accident. Anytime there is impact loading, the block and tackle system, the lanyards, and the harnesses most always have to come out of service, which can be very expensive. We'll talk in a minute about how to determine if they've come under impact loading and when the mandatory requirement to be taken out of service. First thing you always want to do, as we do with any emergency equipment, is to inspect it. It must be a very thorough inspection of the block and tackle unit, as I'm calling it, any lanyards we may be using, and the harnesses. First thing of every shift is to do a thorough inspection, and don't use anything that's not in proper working order. The storage, you want to make sure that you're not taking the harness at the end of the day and just throwing it on the ground, throwing it on a chair, throwing it over a bench. These need to be treated with care and respect, so make sure and hang it up in a closet, preferably a closet that can be closed and locked up. That way it can't be tampered with. The fall restraint system, the harness should always fit properly. Don't ever put one on thinking, well, I'm just going to use it for a minute, just for an hour, and so I'm just going to put it on just because it's a requirement, and whether it fits properly or not. Don't use it unless it's fitting properly. One that is loose, if you ever do fall and the fall arrest system catches, you can find yourself hanging upside down or hanging in it very loosely, coming up, hanging around your throat or something, but make sure that it is put on properly and make it to fit properly, even if you're only going to use it for a few minutes. We want to talk about the components. First of all, the anchor point is going to be, it can be an I-beam, it can be a cable overhead, but this is where all the components hook to. The main anchor point, it has to be have the capability of 5,000 pounds. So will a lanyard, 5,000 pounds. The lanyards must always have a self-locking snap ring. The deceleration device, we'll show you in a minute, which I'm calling a block and tackle. The one we use has, if you were to fall off a trailer, the system will catch you before you fall more than 2 feet. We always want to make sure that anytime, again, this has been put under any impact loading, this deceleration device is going to have to come out of service. There will be a little tag on it, basically, that will appear, and it shows that it's been under impact loading. and then it has to come out of service. So it's a very expensive operation. The same with the lanyards and the harness. Once they're under impact loading, there will be an indicator that shows they've been under load, and they have to be taken out of service. This is the fall arrest block and tackle I was talking about, the fall arrest device that will keep you from falling more than 2 feet. This is a self-locking snap ring that should be on all the lanyards. And this right here on this particular unit will show if it's been under impact loading. See, right up here there's the space. This particular unit, if it's under impact loading, this will slide down to here, and there will actually be a red indicator right here, and that's what you would be looking for on your inspection, to look for a red indicator. If you see it, it's been under an impact load, and this whole unit must be tagged and placed out of service. Now right here are the indicators to show if it's been through an impact loading or not. See, this one says inspect, and that's good and tight. This one here says inspect, and you can see where this has come loose. So that means it's been under an impact load, and this harness is going to have to be taken out of service. Now, once somebody has fallen, once it's been put under an impact loading, as I said earlier, this is an accident, and it has to be reported to the safety people at the company, at Cypress. Has to be reported to them. Whatever plant you're working at, it's going to have to be reported to their safety and management. So there's going to be paperwork to fill out, there's going to be reports to fill out. So we want to make sure, of course, this whole thing is about safety. We don't want to fall in the first place. Put on the harness, make sure you're wearing it anytime you're more than 4 feet above the ground, but stay low, keep a low center of gravity, and stay away from the edges at all times whenever possible. But if you ever do fall from a trailer, well, the fall arrest system is certainly something that will save your life or a serious bodily injury. Anytime you are going to use the fall arrest system, you always have to have an emergency action plan. And so make sure you and the people you are working with always know the rescue plan. Make sure there is always somebody in the area within eyeshot of you. Somebody can always see, somebody who knows you're going to be working above the ground, somebody who knows you're going to be working with the fall arrest system, so they can help keep an eye on you. Never let them get out of sight. Never work when there's not somebody there within sight of you, and somebody who knows how to handle the emergency action or the rescue plan. There has to be a plan to where you can be rescued in less than 15 minutes. Now, it may be a forklift nearby with a pallet to where they can come and catch you. It may be a ladder system to where somebody, but it has to be where somebody can come rescue you effectively within 15 minutes. Our whole purpose and the jobs we do is safety first. We don't want to do anything if it's not safe. We don't want to work in any way to where we can't work safely. The fall arrest system is a last minute deal to where in case there is an accident. But always make sure you're using it properly, do the proper inspections, put the harness on properly, and always have an adequate rescue plan.
Hold the harness by the back D-ring. Shake the harness to allow the straps to fall into the correct place. Now, if there are any straps that are buckled, unbuckle them at this point. Now at this step, you want to slip the straps over the shoulders so that the D-ring is located between the shoulder blades. Pull the leg strap between the legs and connect to the opposite end. Once you've done this with the first leg, you're going to want to repeat this process with the second leg strap. Connect the chest strap and position it in the middle of the chest area. Make sure you tighten it to keep the shoulder straps secured properly. After all straps have been buckled, tighten all the buckles so that the harness fits snug but allows for full range of movement. Pass the excess strap through the loop keepers.